Hi, Alicia Drew here. So, you may have heard me talking about how the Sloan Center study found that the average couple spends 35 minutes a week talking with each other about things that are not work, household, or child related. So, if you only had 35 minutes a week to talk to your significant other, what would you want to talk about? I would like to think that I would want to be talking about how much I appreciate them and love them and all the good things. So, putting some positive deposits into their bank instead of nagging about, like, hey, you left this out or you forgot to run this errand I asked you to do. But it makes us really think about how am I spending the few moments I really do have to talk to my spouse? Like, what am I getting across? How am I making you feel? Because I know Maya Angelou says it's not what you say, it's how you make people feel. And that is very true. So being in tune with your partner to know what do they need from me to feel supported, loved, treasured, wanted, because aren't those things that everybody wants to feel? Now, I was watching a podcast with a social scientist, and he said that studies are showing that you need to spend 90 minutes a week, bare minimum, talking about non household, child, or work related things just to maintain your relationship. So, not even to grow it, but just to maintain it. So, if that is true, and the average high achieving couple is only spending 35 minutes a week, how do you think that's going to bear out over time in your marriage? Like, that is not going to bode well for you. And so then what I see in my 25 years of working with relationships and couples, both individually and together, is that a lot of times once the kids start to grow up and aren't doing family-centered things anymore, that's when, things fall apart because the adults, the husband and wife, don't really have anything to talk about or to have in common outside of the children and their activities and sports. So does that speak to you or no? I'm curious. I would love for you to drop below if that's something that you are like, oh, yeah, I can identify that with that. We spend most of our weekends going to kids' activities and games, and maybe your kids are in select, soccer or hockey, and you're traveling all over the country, and that's your, fun couple time. So if you had 35 minutes a week, what would you want to say to your significant other? How would you want them to leave feeling about that interaction? Would you want it to be all 35 minutes at once? Would you want it to be 5 minutes a day? Would you want it to be just on the weekend? That just blows my mind because I think my husband and I spend 35 minutes each day talking before we've even started work. And he is not remote. I'm a remote worker, but he is not. So that's, us making the effort to call each other in the morning and touch base and see how, the other person's doing and how their morning's going. I read another study this morning that said that Forbes did a study and found that career choices were the source of relationship issues for 46% of couples. And the story that they had with it was a story about Ramit Sethi's podcast, I Will Teach You How to Be Rich. And it was two doctors. And the husband had asked to move all over the country to further his career and his education. And his wife, who is also a pre-med, or a doctor rather, still in residency, both of them. She's followed him, so she sacrificed things in her career in order to help him reach his goals. So now that he's getting offers, and they're like really extremely good offers, he's wanting to take the highest offer, which would mean they relocate. It would mean that she has to leave a job that she really enjoys and likes, and she's made her sacrifices already. So these are the things where if you're only talking 35 minutes a week, even 90 minutes a week to maintain the marriage, how are you navigating all of these tricky things? So I have a coaching program that walks you through all of these steps for anything, not just work related issues. But it's particularly for people who are high achieving. At least one person in the couple has a very demanding career that means that some tricky things need to be navigated. Maybe they work a lot of hours, maybe they have to travel, maybe they miss events or children's things because of their career. How do you navigate that all? And so I teach people because nobody really tells us anything about how to stay married. There's a lot of preparation to get married, like over a year at least. But then there's really nothing helping you maintain that marriage. And that's why over 50% of marriages end in divorce consistently over the years. Like, I don't even know how many years that statistic has remained true. And now, in fact, we're seeing fewer young people get married, choosing to be single because they don't believe in this, myth of marriage anymore. They don't think that it can work. And that really makes me sad because I think your relationship, whether you're married or you just choose to be long-term partners, it doesn't matter. Um, that's your soft place to fall. Life is hard. The world is hard. And to me, that is your soft place to fall at the end of the day. The person who is going to, be there for you, have your back, cheer you up, cheer you on, encourage you, help pick you back up when, things are difficult. And if you don't have that, what kind of a quality of life do you have? Um, so we work through communication. We work through acceptance of self and your spouse because guess what? High achievers tend to be perfectionistic. So we demand that of ourselves and of others, which means it's kind of a double-edged sword. Sometimes we don't accept ourselves because no one is perfect. To be human is to be unperfect. But then also we nitpick and we have a hard time accepting our spouse sometimes. And then respect is the third pillar. Intimacy is next. And then we have how to nurture your marriage and then how to grow your marriage. Because, if you're in the early days, it's easy when it's fun. But as life gets harder and more demanding, it also gets trickier to maintain and to nurture and grow because you want to know who you are individually and as a couple at the end of the day, when your kids are gone or your career is winding down, you want to know who is this person I have built a life with. You don't want to wake up and go, oh no, like we don't have anything in common anymore. We don't even know how to have a conversation anymore. Like we can't even agree on what to have for dinner or where to go for dinner. Like how are we going to navigate what are supposed to be the golden years, like the best years of our life with this stranger basically? And so let me save you from all of that. Reach out and let me know if you would like to learn more. I would love to talk with you. Have a great day.